Alright, here we have the second Marengo playthrough. This time, I have already played turn 0, which is the turn where only the Austrians move, the surprise move when Austrians are coming out. What I have done is I have Melo's main force coming up to the center here, but all his cavalry is coming up this way. Ordinarily, one just sends out Ott's tiny command here, and often that will be sent up that way, or O'Reilly's command will be sent up that way. This time, I'm just going to try this out. I'm going to send all the cavalry up that way. Now, the limit on that is, will they be within range to attack? Because you have to be within command range at the beginning of your move to attack. But here we see Melos counter right here. I can move him within range if I need to, but one of the drawbacks to having a large command is you can't be everywhere at once. So perhaps what will be going on over here, he won't be able to command attacks down here. We'll see how this works out. Also, on turn 0, the Austrian artillery was able to disrupt 3 French divisions. Now, ordinarily, you can expect in this to get your artillery to fire the first turn, and then after that, it's usually spent trying to run up and keep up with the rest of the army, and rarely gets to fire after that until you run into the French try to hold somewhere. So I'll start it this way. They did well this time, and we'll see how they go further on down the line. They're going to have to be out of commission while they pack up their artillery trains and bring them around and cross the bridge. Holy cow, here's something I did not expect. The cavalry, Melos' cavalry, started here in column. The Kaiser's dragoons were able to switch out of column and form up and almost contact the French baggage. The French are getting seriously cut off by the cavalry. Alright, this is the end of turn 1 movement. The French are falling back. Linné has stepped forward to manage his corps as it falls back. He sent a detachment here to try to hold up the cavalry or the grenadiers. Just a delaying force. Alright, so turn 2 movement is over. Ott's column has finally reached the bridge up here. O'Reilly is pushing forward on this flank. French delaying actions have held up Melos in the center, and the cavalry looks like it's not going to be doing well. They may have overstretched themselves in their eagerness. Initially, this looked like an Austrian rout of the French, but the French seem to have recovered. And with this cavalry attack here, Kellerman's cuirassiers attacking the Archduke's dragoons, we should see some results there. The Emperor's artillery did drive back the Archduke's dragoons there. Alright, combat this turn. Saw less than they were hoping for over here. Kellerman's cuirassiers drove off the dragoons, but not destroy them. Now we move on to turn 3, and this will see the entrance of Revad's hussars. And the Austrians going, great, more cav, that's all we need. Kaiser's dragoons fell back from this, but now they're trapped. Here the Liechtenstein dragoons were driven off, although the Kellerman was not able to destroy them with his cuirassier charge. Turn 3. Again, the French have backed up from the advancing Austrians, they're staying out of actual combat, decisive combat. You can think of them as firing, a kind of fighting withdrawal, keeping the Austrians at bay. Here we have a pure infantry force attacking these dragoons. You know they're just going to move away from that. And here we have some combat. See how this goes. First this one, these guys just move out. And this time they'll finally get away. It's been a tense few hours for the dragoons behind enemy lines. Turn 4. Alright, we see the French center has basically collapsed. Although, Bonaparte is still fresh, and this is the turn Desai comes on. Turn 5. Imperial artillery pushed back the grenadiers. Other than that, let's see if the Austrians can close the deal here. The French survive the first round and retreat away. We now move to turn 6. Now we see a lot of things heating up over on this side, because this side is pretty solid, but there's a chance the Austrians could get to this. The Austrians need to get to here or here to break out. So they're trying to whip around here and see the French trying to throw something together on this side. We'll see how it goes. Right now there's some combat in the center. Inconclusive, but that's not what the French were hoping for. That's it for turn 6. It's getting tense over in this corner. Turn 7. This is coming down to the wire. Here we have turn 8. Last turn of the game. Here we have an exposed Austrian baggage train unpacked. Desai ready to attack, although they're both spent. Over on this side, we have a desperate defense of the upward supply line. And just off camera, sorry guys, but it's just a straight road off here, the Austrians could get a hold of that. So here we are, turn 8, and this has come down to the last turn and the chit draw. Alright, here we have it. The end of the turn. Desai did come in contact with the... Oh, this was packed. So Desai came in contact with the unpacked baggage train and would have won for the French, except the Liechtensteiners have run into the Lyonnaise baggage train, and just off camera, I believe, the Archduke's Dragoons have run into Victor's supplies. So how do you want to call that? I guess I'd call it a tie at this point. They've both captured a baggage train, which is determined at the end of the movement phase before combat. And that's important because if he just went by the first one contacted, that would have been Desai contacting this bag. But at the same time, the same turn, the Austrians contacted 2 of the French bags. Again, you can split those hairs any way you want. Nobody clearly won that. I'd call this a draw. Would Napoleon have been able to race back to Paris and declare victory?